Welcome to another BZPower set review. I am BZPower reporter Xccj, and today we are looking at one of the new 2016 Bionicle sets, set 71302, Akita, Creature of Water. These creatures are the new companions for the Toa, so it's kind of interesting to see some animals being made as sets like this. And you can see it's very fish-like, which is interesting because we haven't seen many fish before. And you also have a shadow trap in the corner. You have a lot of nice artwork on this package. In the corner here, you can get a preview of Gali fighting a couple of other shadow traps, as well as the mask she's after in the corner. So definitely some really cool underwater scenery here. And then in the upper corner, you have the Makuta Mask of Control. So that's kind of neat with the Bionicle logo. This looks like it's going to be the mask for the year, or at least for the winter wave. On the back, you have a lot of details, but you get to see Akita and Gali, Uniter of Water, and a little preview of the combination model between the two of them. Some action features with the shadow trap, the headpiece, and some action features on Akita herself, as well as, a bunch of other information. And these are now buildable figures, similar to like the Star Wars characters. Another interesting bit is the return of Gali's Nuva symbol in the corner, as well as the symbol that looks to represent the creatures. So that's pretty cool. So let's look and see what's inside. And here are the parts for Akita. She comes with 120 pieces, which sounds really impressive. Except when you consider that 24 of those pieces are studs, which, act as ammo for the stud shooters she has. So really, she only has 96 other pieces, plus a few extras. All the same, she has a lot of Technic elements. I actually really like that because this means she has a bit more of a Technic build compared to some of the other figures we've seen in the past. Let's start by looking at the helmet here. This is a neat design. Silver on the bottom with some intricate detailing, and it transitions to trans blue at the top. You can see it kind of has the eye printing on it. That doesn't really stand out very well, but I guess you have to make do. On the inside, you can see it has a socket connection right here, and it has some bars for clips at the top and an opening for another bar at the nose. This is the same design as all the other creatures. Like the protectors last year, they all share the same mask or helmet or face or whatever you want to call this. But this color is unique to her, so it's still a fairly nice design. The other piece that jumps out is this fin piece. It's in a dark azure. This was actually released in the 2008 wave of Bionicle sets as sort of a wing piece, but it's reused here more as underwater fins. And this is the first time it's appeared in this color. And that's really cool because you get 5 of those pieces. Another brand new piece is this armor element. As you see here, it has a lot of Technic connections that it fits over. It has a nice intricate design on the front. So this is actually pretty cool. Some pistons right here. It seems very classic Bionicle. It looks like some of the armor we got in the 2006 through 2008 characters. So I'm impressed that we're getting pieces like this, and it doesn't even have a socket attachment. This piece comes in silver here. You only get one, but this element appears in most of the other Toa and creature sets in some capacity and in various colors. So I expect you'll get a fair amount of these in your collection soon enough. Next, we have the tooth piece for the shadow trap. It has a couple of connections, including this axle piece here and a half rod connection on either end. And it's meant for these two pieces to join together. And the teeth also integrate really, really well. and I think it can also be used as various types of armor. This piece is reused on all the shadow traps, which come with all the creature sets in the winter wave. You'll probably get a couple of these. While I'm at it, I'd like to point out a couple other fairly uncommon parts that Akita comes with. This blue joint piece is fairly uncommon, only comes in a couple of sets. You have the stud shooter in trans blue. That's also fairly uncommon. These lift arms are in trans blue, and I believe they only come in this color in one elves set. Moving on, this piece appears in orange for the first time, I think, so that's cool. The spikes are also fairly uncommon in orange. Moving on to black, we have the spider legs, which are also not a super common color. We also get this two-part axle, one-part rod Technic piece. It appeared in a bunch of sets in 2015, but it's still a fairly new element, and I rather like it. And you also get this Technic piece, a rod hole with the rod end right here. It's appeared in a few sets in the last couple of years, but still nice to get it again in a cheaper set like this. And you have the blue Exoforce style arms, which are also fairly uncommon in this color. So quite a lot of pieces in this set, a bunch of rare ones, a couple of recolors that are exclusive to this set. So a nice selection. So let's see now what it puts together. So here we have it, Akita, Creature of Water. As you see, you get a fair amount of extra pieces, as well as lots of extra ammunition to go with her two massive stud launchers. Since she doesn't quite have legs and won't fit on the ground because she's built to swim, she does come with a nice little stand to keep her held up. And then there's also the shadow trap. So let's look at it first. This is a shadow trap. It comes with the two jaw pieces and some long spider-like legs that have the blue arm piece and then the spider leg element. It has one eye on the one side and a propeller on the other, so it can kind of zoom around underwater. So all these shadow traps seem to be fairly similar design, but they all have different legs. And this one definitely gives it some reach. On the inside, there's this click hinge joint, and it allows the teeth to be opened at various angles. So you can close it, and the jaws snap together. The jaw pieces integrate really well, so I like that. A lot of neat design on them. And yeah, the hinges just work perfectly, so you can get it at all sorts of angles. So it could be set, ready to grab something, and then clump. So it's an interesting antagonist. There's definitely a little bit more functionality to it compared to, say, the skull spiders, which were really just masks with legs, whereas this one has a little bit of a trap functionality. So it'll be interesting to see how these shadow traps are integrated in the story. And now we return to the star of the set, Akita. It is the first time we've had a primary set build a fish character. We've had some other fish models show up over the years, like the Takia shark and the rookie, as well as some characters from the 2007 playsets, but they were all kind of secondary models, and these two were pretty Technic heavy. So it's really nice to see a lot of design go into an actual aquatic character. It definitely differs from the standard humanoids we see, or even the quadruped Rocky we're used to. The main feature Akita has is her stud launchers right here. They have these propellers attached to them, so you can turn these and launch some studs. And you're given plenty of extras when you inevitably lose them. So the launchers are attached to the two click hinges on the top. And she has another feature, so if you pull up her tail, her propellers and fins flip down. So it's a little neat. She can be swimming along, and then, woohoo! Fire! So that's a neat little function, and the body has an intricate Technic system that allows for this function to work without too much issue. You have the fins on the side that are just attached by a rod connection here. And then you have the tail, which is jointed. So you get a little bit of articulation, mostly at the neck and the tail. Everything else is very rigid with the Technic connection. Personally, I would have preferred if there had been another socket piece attached to the fins so she could get some more articulation that way. As it is, I'm not a big fan of the placement of the shooters. I think they just get in the way. So I would have liked some more effort to go into her fins rather than these stud launchers. And that might have made the function a little bit more interesting. The head is a nice design. Unfortunately, it is kind of hollow on the bottom. There's nothing filling it out. And that's because this can act as like a helmet over the Toa's mask. So it needs to be hollow. But honestly, I would have preferred if we had some sort of like bottom jaw that could be built on, similar to the kaiju models from the Hero Factory sets a couple years ago. But this is what we get for now, unfortunately. And I really appreciate that they provided a stand for this character, so if you want to put it on display, it's really great. And you could always bring the shadow trap in for a little bit of a play feature. Can jump up and grab onto her fin, and then she can shoot at it and scare it away. So, in the end, this is a fairly neat set. I really like that they decided to go with an aquatic model, especially since it does kind of lack some of the playability as a humanoid character. There's not a whole lot of articulation to move it around, but it is highly swooshable. So you can pretend to swimming around in the water. That's always nice. And again, I think the function up here is a little clunky. I would have preferred if you just removed the hinges. And there, she looks a lot more natural. And she can still swing up her fins and get some movement there. But LEGO likes to include action features, so stud shooters are what you get. And probably one of the coolest features is that Akita does fit onto Galli's back via this connection here. And they kind of create a combiner character, but it's really simple. And I'll be talking more about that when I review Galli, Uniter of Water. So stay tuned. So in the end, this set has a fair amount of nice pieces. It's a different type of model. It's not your standard quadruped or humanoid. So I really like that, even if I'm not a fan of the stud shooters up there. And the shadow trap makes for a interesting antagonist as well. So this is by far not a bad set, but I can see how some of the other animal characters might appeal more to kids who are more into the playability, whereas this is more of a swooshable character instead of a posing character. Well, thanks again for watching another BZPower set review. Make sure to like and subscribe to our BZPower channel, and come back soon for more reviews of the 2016 Bionicle sets. Thanks for watching. Woo!